It is New Release Friday up here at Dash Radio. I still can't get over the fact that albums are coming out Fridays now instead of Tuesdays. Lil Dicky, who finally has the project out now.
It's the moment.
I know, it's the moment you've been waiting for how long?
I guess at least 2 years, but to me, I'd say my whole life. I'd be lying if I said like I've been waiting my whole life to put out my debut rap album.
Yeah, you never. When did you actually think that you'd have a debut rap album? At what point?
Probably like I was really confident of it the first day I put anything online when the video I put on got 1 million views, and I was like, all right, this is gonna work. Only then was I like certain that I was definitely gonna have a debut rap album.
So I want to talk about what even made you put up that first video online, because that's got to be like the moment you make that transition from like I'm sure you were like rapping and doing stuff for fun. It's not like you just were like, oh, I'm gonna rap right now, but we're like, wait, let's actually do a video and put it online. And before it took off, but even like getting to that point of putting it out, what made you just go for it then at that moment?
Well, so like I said, like this moment to me is bigger than just music, because it's like I've always, I suppose, thought that I was going to be an entertainer or like a comedian or just something where I'm publicly being funny. You know what I mean? Or trying to be. So I've always known that I was going to attempt something when I graduated college. And the first thing I thought of was I definitely can rap to a reasonable extent. At least back then, it was like not where it is now. And I didn't see many competitors in like the comedic rap space. You know, Lonely Island to me was like the only people doing it.
Yeah, but it's still different. Like,
and I didn't feel like they really like like they're not hip hop. You know,
I totally agree.
So I felt like it was a wide open space. So that's what prompted me to do it. And I thought it was a no-brainer to try. Like, I'm just who I am as a person. Is like if you hung out with me all day, I would just be making like way too many jokes. Like I just make a lot of jokes. I'm just that kind of person. So when I'm rapping, it's the same thing. Like I'm just gonna be making jokes.
And that's what comes across kind of in the interviews and stuff that you do too.
I've never been a comedian. Like I've just been like everybody's funny friend.
Do you feel like that's why a lot of people relate to you, even in the music and stuff, because you're rapping about? I never even heard you say this, like a lot more real scenarios than what we're typically listening to. Like it's when you listen to any of your records, I mean, you're a great master. I'd say master storyteller in the sense that you really feel like you're in the place, but instead of like, oh, I'm gonna shoot out and all those things, like, wow, this is more likely for people to be.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm always hesitant to say like what I'm rapping about real stuff. They're not.
Yeah, no, it's all real. It's just different.
Different. I think it's totally like a majority of the country is more capable of relating to like an instance that happens at Chipotle than in a shootout, for example.
Luckily.
Yeah. Thank goodness that's the country we live in. So I don't know. All I do is I can only speak to what I know. I feel like hip hop, especially, like there's nothing more important than being real. So I'm always as real as I can be, and I think my reality happens to be a reality that a lot of people share. Yeah.
Do you think that hurts hip hop at all? I mean, we saw, just speaking of like being real, you see what Meek Mill and Drake going back and forth about him not writing his own records. Why is hip hop? And then actually 40 wrote a real eloquent thing on Twitter.
I read all. It's very caught up to speed.
It's great. So like, but he has a very point. He's like, in every other genre of music, like Rihanna, like all these people aren't writing their records, but hip hop, it has to be like there's.
So here's my stance on the whole.
Yes.
Like, I think personally that obviously hip hop is like it's its own thing, but I think everything should be like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily respect a pop singer
who's
not. I respect her, but it's a different thing. Like I respect the singers that write their music far more than they don't. The ones that don't. To me, if you're not writing the music, I see you as a karaoke singer.
It's interesting.
I really do. Like rap, pop, and that's just my stance. Like I think music is supposed to be so personal. It's supposed to be self-expression, and if you're not self-expressing and someone else is doing that for you, and you're just singing other people's words, I don't know. I don't buy it. Like I don't
really.
Yeah, I don't. I really don't.
That's an interesting stance to take. Even with there's so many artists that over history have had all these records written by them by professional writers. And I totally hear what you're saying. Why do you think that hip hop though is kind of the opposite of all those other genres where it's like, oh, you need to write your stuff and you get called out and it's a big deal if you have a ghostwriter?
Well, I just like hip hop. To me, the key, like with hip hop, is just how real it is, how raw it is, and it's just like the truth. It's like just it's like the truth of our society. It started it's just pop. When you listen to a pop song, the stuff like sometimes the lyrics are like, I don't know, I'm just making it up, but like you are like the moon to my stars. It's like very like elaborate, cliche type of stuff. And you've heard the same type of songs like a zillion times in pop, and it's just hip hop is supposed to be, in my opinion, like only the artist can convey his POV.
Yeah.
And that's that's why I don't know, like that's why I feel good about what I'm doing, because I know that nobody could.
So nobody's ghostwritten your stuff. No. It's not going to come out with any reference tracks or anything. How'd you feel though? I know you're like a Drake fan though. How did you feel? Like, how do you react to that? Because you can't deny his talent and what he's done. But
so I didn't hear the reference track until this morning.
Okay. And what was your reaction?
So my initial reaction, I'm obviously a huge Drake fan. My initial reaction was, if I'm Meek Mill, there's probably a lot of things that I could point at Drake to like try to like lead to his downfall. I don't think songwriting is the right thing to go at Drake for, because he's a prolific songwriter. He's written for other people. You know what I mean? So I was like very like, this is not a big deal. And then I heard the reference track this morning, and it's just, it is a little weird to have a verse written for you as a rapper. Like that's literally the lyrics, like, let me tell you about those safe house nights out in Calabasas. Like I'm thinking like Drake's talking about.
Yeah, there's no way anybody else would
have
written
it's like,
that.
you know, that's such a specific thing. Like I've done like everything I do, like I just have no background in music, and I've done a lot of it myself, and I wish that I could be in a room with like the guys that Drake's in, just for help about like cadences and like that's like a real cool like swag to have over this moment, or even a hook. But I'll never be interested in anybody writing a verse.
So what's the line in your eyes? Is it when you're in the studio and you can like, you know, somebody's helping you with the line or anything, but you need to do the verse on your own? Is that what you're?
That's my line. Personally, I don't have much.
Hooks are okay?
I guess. Personally, like I prefer to have the kind of hook that's like about jerking off with your jeans on, that like nobody's going to suggest. Like I want to have the hook that I want everybody to know that this came from him, you know?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
But I think etiquette-wise, I would say, and I don't really have much context. This is just like my opinion that doesn't really matter.
Oh no, for sure. No, that's why.
I think hooks in the context of the music industry seems reasonable.
Yeah.
But verses just feels weird to me.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Now you're from Philly, outside of Philly.
Yeah.
So are you a Meek fan?
Yeah.
So
I'm a Meek fan.
Who do you think is winning this beef so far? Because then Meek, remember, he hasn't put out any records. It's been on Twitter, which is kind of weird in a whole.
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you think he's gonna come back with like a?
He was supposed to. I mean,
I feel like he's gonna come back so hard if he does, and just like really like it's tough. I don't know. I
mean, I think he'll definitely come back. He has to, right?
I don't know.
Like it's him. What?
Yeah, you'd think that Meek would come back. I think so too. That's like,
we just have to see how strategic he is with that.
I know. Who's winning right now? Man, I think it's like a good, interesting like
still
thing right
so
now.
early.
Yeah, it's very early, and I feel like they're both taking it kind of seriously. Like, I didn't expect Drake to respond
especially
so quickly.
that quick.
Yeah, that quickly.
I thought he'd be more well thought out and do that. Not that it wasn't, but you know, even hearing the diss record, I thought, you know, it was some jabs.
Low key.
Yeah, it wasn't really like, it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like a 300 bars.
Right.
So,
but I think if he did that, it wouldn't have looked as good. Like I don't think he wants to look like he's putting like his heart and soul into like how he's gonna come at Meek.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool too. He put out 2 other like totally non-related records. Like, oh, I can make hits too. By the way, here's just some throwaways.
It's interesting. I think it's great for rap. I miss this.
Me too. It's so fun. Have you been in? That's what I was gonna ask you. Have you been in a battle yet? Like a real beef?
No,
dude. This would be so epic.
I have a song like that I made a while ago.
You got it ready?
No, it's terrible when I listen to it now. Like the concept was just like no rapper cares about me enough to beef with me, so I'm just gonna like have beef with like a fictionalized rapper that I just make up in the song. But I don't know. I'm definitely. You never want to like seem like an ass clown. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But like if Kanye came at me, then I'd definitely like love to.
Be awesome.
Yeah,
right?
it'd be great. I don't know. To me, I see rap.
Dude, I hope somebody disses you so bad. It would be so entertaining, just for the entertainment factor. Please come on. Somebody's gonna.
I mean, it's polarizing stuff. I think it's very possible.
Absolutely.
I just I don't know. I liken rap to the NBA, and it's like. I love the reason I rap, one of the main reasons is I'm just a humongously competitive person. And like I love the idea that we're just like all competing against one another. Mm-hmm. And to me, over the years, it's just gotten so buddy.
Yeah, that's what's so weird too. Even like with Meek coming back, the one downfall is he kind of backtracked in the next day.
Exactly.
We're like, we
too much
have to get along.
Too much politics.
Yeah.
And
everybody's so safe.
They're so safe. I don't know. And I get why you want to be safe because you don't want to ruin relate. Because honestly, like the more safe you are, then the more likely you're able to collaborate with these people and the more likely you're able to create these songs.
It's true.
But I don't know. I miss the days when Jay-Z and Nas were like You know, Jay-Z and Nas.
Yeah.
Or Tupac and Biggie. When you go back and listen, Tupac starting a song with "I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker." Like that's so aggressive. Yeah. Talking about fucking his wife
and pulling in the whole coast and like really making it a whole. So people felt like they were on.
Now I think like violence has no place in it. Like it should never escalate to violence or anything
it's
like
not
that.
that serious.
And I like the fact that it hasn't been that violent. I mean, I guess lately there's been some violence.
Yeah, it's always like, and there's no even drama. Like even with Wayne and all those things going on with him. Like I'd much rather have a Wayne versus Young Thug. Like think of how entertaining that would be now versus some real shit in the streets. That
I never wanted to get escalated to that. Like that to me isn't rap beef. That's just like warfare
for nothing. Anyways, on the album you have Snoop, T-Pain, Panic at the Disco, Hannah. I mean, you got Fetty Wap, Rich Homie. Of course, we heard on the record. Then Retro Jace. What was it like getting some of those? I mean, you're talking about Snoop Dogg, one of the most iconic figures. I mean, he's got a station up here, Dash too. So shout out to Snoop. But you know, it's Snoop, dude.
It's awesome. And it's the first project I've. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. Like this song with Snoop, for example, it's a job interview for me to become a rapper. So it's like set in corporate America where Snoop is, and there's only so many people that could play that part like perfectly. And I'd say
he's a character in the song for sure.
Yeah, and it's like, and the person needs to have clout. And to me, like I really wanted like a legend, like you know, Jay-Z would have been great. There's like 4 guys that like could have been great.
There's only a couple.
And Snoop to me is like probably the best. Like he's my number one choice because he's like funny and he's like entertaining, but he's also like an absolute icon in the industry.
In the world, he's probably one of the most recognizable figures over probably anybody in hip hop. Just as a character.
Yeah. So it's perfect, and for me personally, it feels so satisfying to know that like you have a concept. And you've executed it as well as it could have been executed. You know what I mean? Because you have the players to play that role, and it's just satisfying.
How long have you been working on this album and actually piecing? Because I know you've had different things and mixtapes, SoundCloud records, but for this actual project, when did you record the first song for it?
Probably like 2 years.
Okay, so you've been holding these in the can. It's not like we just went in for a couple weeks and did this. This was like a real project, well thought out.
Very for sure. Like I had ideas, and it takes me a while. Like every song that's good enough to be on the album, there's 5 that aren't.
Yeah.
And so I just have to make a lot of songs. And, you know, I started like certain songs that are on the album I made 2 years ago. And then like, there's like probably like a 6-month gap where nothing I created in those 6 months actually made the album. But it's but over the course of 2 years, I've just been working pretty steadily. And I didn't necessarily go into it thinking it was going to be a concept album.
Yeah.
But like, and then I recorded these interludes with my parents. Like I recorded a phone call. And my parents are just like absolute caricatures of Jewish parents, and like the way the interludes work, they just really lead perfectly into the next song. And so like when you listen to the album like front to back, it really does feel like a concept album. So it came together like very beautifully.
What does your family think of everything that's been going on now? And now that you're a professional rapper for real,
they're very like they're obsessed with it. Like that's all they check. They're all.
Are they going to your shows and everything?
And they're like always on my goddamn Twitter, which is like
that's how they find out. And they're like, how was blah blah blah.
Yeah. Like I tweet like if I like just had sex, I'll tweet about it. You know what I mean? And like I don't want my mom.
Yeah, right.
That.
You got to block them. You got to find their names.
I tell them I say like anything that you think I'm not interested in talking with you about, like never mention it. Like I have had to make that because they just don't get it.
Have they brought any of that stuff up before?
They have, and I just say like, Mom, like I don't. Clearly, why would I want to talk with you about this? So I just have to like cut it off. But they're so supportive. They love it. At first, they were very skeptical because I was in corporate America.
Yeah, you were what, an ad executive or something, right?
Yeah, and if you put it out and it flops, the internet's like fairly permanent, and it's pretty like aggressive, racy stuff.
Yeah,
and
you're not going to be able to get a lot of those jobs.
Yeah, so they were just a little concerned, but I think, fortunately for me, like the payoff, it worked the first day. Yeah. So there wasn't really a period where it was like a nervous patch. Like as soon as I went public with it, it worked, and they were like, "Okay, you're right."
Do you always feel the pressure to kind of one up one thing? Because what's always tough is not anybody, but it's easy to have one viral sensation and do that and have your moment, and then it goes away. And people always try. I mean, you've seen it. We've seen it so many times with even one-hit wonder artists that come out with something and then try to replicate it, and it never turns out. You've actually been able to sustain that success. Do you feel that like pressure on every time to like, wow, I have to do something even more important or more impactful than the last time? Or
initially I think I felt the pressure, but then fortunately you just evolve as a rapper and an artist. So it's like that pressure gets like kind of nullified because I know that I'm rapping better now. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, whereas, you know, if I didn't get better, maybe like everything would have to be super funny and like, how am I going to think of 13 unbelievably funny concepts? Now I can, you know, have a song like Bro where I'm just rapping. So, and then the bigger I get, the more tools I'll have at my disposal in terms of like working with producers, working with artists. So it's like now ideas that I had that
getting Snoop on a record.
Exactly. Yeah. I have like all these ideas that like would require working with like a Rick Ross or like a Chris Brown. And the ideas only could exist with them being on it. Yeah. Like now they're possible. And like, there's just like doors are open to all ideas that I couldn't have thought of otherwise. So the opportunities are bigger and I'm evolving. So I guess it just kind of like negates the pressure to some extent.
Let's say, what's the most, the stupidest thing you've bought, I guess I could say today? Has there been anything
from like a financial
dumb from a financial standpoint? Have you gotten like a chain, a Rolls Royce, any like cliche rapper things?
A Nike Fuel Band.
So
like,
the Nike
that I just
Fuel
don't
Band
ever use.
That you don't, they're not.
It's just like it was like a waste of $160, whatever it was. Yeah.
So you're not flying the private jets?
No, I drive a 2002 Toyota Avalon.
Really? Still?
Yeah.
When are you going to upgrade it? What point?
When it's no longer functional, I've decided. Like
really. Yeah. So even if you sell,
if it blows up
5 million copies of this, and have all this money, and you're still just pushing that.
Yeah, I might get a nicer apartment, but the car, because I don't care. I honestly like money. Like I grew up upper middle class. Like money has never been an issue. It's like I've never felt that struggle. I've got a good job right away out of college. Yeah. I feel like no matter what endeavors I took in life, I was going to be living an upper middle class life just because of my upbringing, like, and having the college degree and like having a good job, and it just like I'm gonna be making X amount of money. I'm cheap. I'm like a legitimately cheap human being, so I'm not gonna. I assume I'm going to get rich one day. Like I assume it will happen, and I don't think it will at all change I'll buy like a bigger house or something.
Got it. So what are you going to do with your money? You have like your investment plans all drawn up?
I just reinvest everything into like,
into your project.
Yeah. It's like, I'd love to be able to make $100,000 music videos.
Yeah.
Like what? Like I think the more money you can spend on this stuff, the better everything. The more epic it all gets.
So you just want to have. So what happens when you're at a point where you can spend $5 million on a video? Do you spend it on that?
I think I do it. Yeah.
Really? Just to do it?
Yeah. I just think there's nothing.
It's fun.
There's nothing more valuable that I can buy than like a piece of something that lives forever and is a part of history, like in like pop culture.
Money comes and goes. I mean, you can buy anything. Yeah. And it's cool. You have the car. It's cool for a year, and then you're on to the next.
Yeah.
What do you want people to kind of get out of after they walk away and listen to the whole album, or see what do they want? What do you want them to think of Lil Dicky as?
I want them to think that he's obviously a crazy like goofball, but like objectively being himself at all times. Yeah. I want them to think that the level of effort he puts into this is maximum. Yeah. Like everything is like extremely to the finest detail thought out. And I love making people laugh and happy. The two things I like to do are make people laugh with my music, at least. Yeah. People laugh and like be in a good mood. And like if I'm ever going like serious with it, I like to inspire people to like act, and like it's very easy to live life, and it's hard to take a risk and like try to become who you feel like you are deep down.
100%.
So I just like people hit me all the time. They say like I'm whatever they are, and like you going for the rap thing made me go for this. And so you live one life. You just got to do it.